Word of the name of my new 11% wild turkey, whiskey barrel-aged, pole snapping, stick breaking, rod crushing, cane cracking, strong maple syrup ale come from, you ask? Well, quite simply, it's named after the sex move that I didn't quite connect on. The move that I have made famous through utter failure, resulting in sheer and constant pain while erect. The move that cost me thousands of dollars in medical bills and endless amounts of laughter at the hands of others. This, my friends, well, this is how I explain the story to my grandmother. And it's also the tale of how I broke my wiener. So the story begins back in Cody, Wyoming, on a cold and windy November day, back in the year of 2009, which, in the mythical Chinese folklore, was known as the Year of the Ox. The old lady needed a post driven at her hole that she tried to dig, but she couldn't get the post in because the ground was frozen. So, I naturally did what I always do, and that, my friends, is keep Mrs. Old Till Light happy. So the ground was dry and frozen, and I had to get it super wet, so I could hammer this big and solid, straight, thick, and woody 4x4 impressively massive post into the...
Jake, it's not that big.
Okay, it was more like a older piece of barn lumber, you know, one that's made of solid oak, and, you know, well, one that's not as straight and pretty as it once was, but, you know, one with a nice arch in the grain, and one that's not impressively thick as it is long, but, you know, still just as strong as...
Seriously?
2x4. Yeah, but not a very long one. You know, one that's been cut up and has a bunch of cracks in it, and it's about ready to be thrown in the burn pile. But it's still as very much as strong as a... Okay. Alright, it's okay. It's more like a concrete stake that's been cut out of that 2x4. It doesn't show a whole lot of promise in terms of strength, but still can get the job done. Can still be driven hard, and throughout the years has slowly been chewed on by an old farmer's...
Don't overcompensate, Jake. It's not the size of the post, it's how hard you hammer it.
No truer words have ever been spoken by such a pretty lady. So where was I? Oh yeah. So, the only way I knew I could drive such a mind-blowingly strong piece of wood, which in my case happens to be reminiscent of a well-constructed construction pencil from Raw Supply, into that hard and frozen ground, was to do what I call the Hammer of Thor. You see, the Hammer of Thor consists of three things. First, it's very important that you get the frozen ground super duper saturated with water from a natural water source. Next, you have to find the mightiest of hammers, which in my case, I got a monstrous sledgehammer that...
Seriously?
Okay, like a really sweet but old tomahawk. You know, one that was arguably used by a Wyandotte Indian during the Battle of 1812, and... Okay, I guess it's more like a normal 12-ounce construction hammer. You know, the one like most young men have when they first get into construction, but upon some age and experience, they typically grow onto bigger and better-sized hammers, and unfortunately, age and growth never completely went hand in hand with my development. So I guess it's more, like a rubber mallet. One that just lays on the shelf, doesn't get used much because it was a Christmas gift 15 years ago, and one that looks really big and strong, but upon use you realize, well, it's pathetic, and needs to be used really hard to get the job done. Actually, any job done, so... But then thirdly, but not lastly, well, I use every ounce of God-given talent and energy to drive that thing as hard and deep as I can, and as quickly as I can. So anyways, there I was, driving that old boy to town. Rubber mallet construction pencil, with the same might and anger that Thor's hammer has driven to his enemies' minds. Strike after strike, hit after hit, blow after blow, all seemed to be in my favor until, well, it was all until the most unexpected and tragic thing that could have happened to me. That's right, it changed my life forever, man.
Hey, Daddy, how were we created?
Yeah, how did we have kids if I broke my...
I don't know.